If you could trace back Isaac's clear case of PTSD, there exists one creature in particular that is named appropriately by the sheer amount of mental damage it can inflict upon a person simply by existing. This creature sports a very keen sense of hearing, and while only showing up once to confront Isaac, there are clues throughout the misadventures at Tideman Station that something is lurking just beyond the bulkhead of a door or on the other side of a wall. You know your boy is going to be tormenting you with these puns per usual, so let's get to it and check out the lore and morphology of this heavily requested topic, the Tormentor from Dead Space 2. But now that I have you hooked, wanted to drop a quick update for you guys on the game that I mentioned during the Weezer episode first though. Now, I don't know about y'all, but the prospect of a Dead Space-esque game being worked on by someone, or really a group of people, who does not have EA backing sounds great, as that craptastic company can't eviscerate it. Negative Atmosphere is a game I talked about a while back and downplayed it just a little bit as it was very early along and the devs weren't really too sure about which route it would take or how it would come together. But I'm happy to report that this game has come a long way faster than they originally thought due to the support that they have been receiving from multiple talented people who have come on board, as well as you guys helping out their Patreon and all that. It's been awesome. So that's what you are actually watching right now. The game is being worked on in earnest and prognosis is good for a 2019 demo to be released on Steam. So all you PC mustard race guys can jump on that, and if you would like to support the game, I will drop their Patreon, Reddit, YouTube, and Discord links along with mine in the description. But if you are like me in this aspect, this game seems worthy and worthy of backing. So I'm looking forward to 2019 and what this has in store for us in the future. Also, I guess I should put a disclaimer. I am in no way, shape, or form compensated for my views on this game.
Although I wish I was. Call me.
I just feel like this project is actually worth supporting. So, back to the Tormentor. This dastardly creature is one that is interesting for quite a few reasons, but prior to getting to this creature's feat, which I know seems to be my MO apparently, I wanted to discuss a side idea I had while researching it. It seems entirely possible that the marker actually seems to reuse the same structures. In my last video covering the Snow Beast, one of the things I noticed is that it is very similar to the Tormentor, and these structures are undeniable. Morphologically, they contain many of the same body pieces, albeit the Snow Beast lacks any human characteristics as it is not composed of the same species, but this does kind of raise a question. Was the original Snow Beast in fact made out of people with features just lost to time? Or is it really made out of an alien? Just wanted to point that out as I thought it was pretty cool how these two species share very concurrent body structures. So back to the actual morphology of this creature. The Tormentor is a towering necromorph standing much taller than a human, but roughly the same size as a tripod, if not maybe a foot or two taller. Due to this being the case, I would put this particular beast at a height of 15 to 18 feet tall. Converted, this is 4.57 meters to 5.49 meters tall. This necro practically dwarfs all others around it, and this size has been noted to be roughly about 3 times the size of a brute, or at minimum containing enough biomass to be considered a brute, multiplied by 3. Honestly, I think it could be a little more. Seeing as this creature is tremendous in stature and composed of innumerable corpses of fallen humans, the weight is difficult to get a handle on. However, who cares about how difficult it is? Let's make a few educated guesses based on averages of a human, shall we? Now, the arms can be assumed to be made up of 3 to 4 corpses apiece. The front two seem to be the larger ones, so judging by the arms, which compose the shoulder joints and what could I guess be the elbows, that appears to be about 1 corpse in particular. The longer portion, which would be essentially the forearms, I imagine would be 3 human bodies. Collectively, the culmination of the front arms could be assumed to be about 8 corpses. The back legs would be more in line with around 3 corpses apiece, seeing as they are slimmer and appear shorter. The centralized supporting arms could just be a regular pair of legs split with the body down the middle. However, I would put that at about 2 corpses because it cannot be known for sure if that's the case. And with this thing, it's probably okay to assume it's heavier than lighter. The central mass of this creature concerning thickness could easily be upwards of 5 bodies. With the neck of this creature seemingly containing only 1 corpse, seeing as the pincers are actually the remnants of the arms and a visible face, I would have to say the head itself is more than likely 1 corpse and the neck is another corpse. corpse. So it seems that it's possible this thing is somewhere near about 30 people all fused together. The average weight of a man is around 195 pounds or 88.45 kilograms. This gives us a range and weight of the Tormentor of 4,290 to 5,850 pounds or 1,945.9 to 2,653.51 kilograms. Oh lord, he coming. This is where its immense power and ability to smash doors or completely break them comes from, as clearly getting this much weight and mass up to speed means not a whole lot is going to actually stop it. Since we outlined the general size of this heckin' chonker, let's dive a little more deeply into what this creature is and what exactly makes it so menacing, shall we? Well, apart from the sheer size anyways. The Tormentor is a creature created for many defensive and offensive purposes. As seen when the EarthGov ship is attempting to attack Isaac, it begins to open fire on this creature. The rounds used in this particular weapon are designed to pierce the thick hulls of ships and blow apart shuttles or even people. So this would say to me that the skin of the Tormentor would need to be incredibly thick and potentially calcified, much like that of the brutes, but even then, it still needs to be stronger. Your weapons would only do damage to the inflamed weak point on the arm, as any other shot landed anywhere else does absolutely nothing. As stated, this strength could be attributed to the covering of calcium that has fused around the skin, and it would seem to make the most sense, as there are jagged protrusions which can be assumed to be bone sticking out all over the body. In fact, in some places you can even see a human arm sticking out. But you're probably wondering how this would be possible to make this much calcium. Now, it is very strange to have a calcium shell, especially from something composed of a mammal, but that doesn't mean it's completely impossible. There actually is a disease, and this is going to be a mouthful, fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, nice, which is a disease that actually will turn muscle into solid bone. So, through this process, it could be possible that the calcification of the skin of this creature has happened. This would allow it to take these shots directly with very little effect. Under the bone is clearly a much more sensitive and meaty area suggested by the damaged shoulder joint, but we will be getting to that momentarily. The front arms are very large and quite long. The creature uses the arms in both offensive grappling and locomotion. They are tipped with 3 grasping fingers that are more than likely the remnants of a former human's arms. In their threes, they can wrap around a person and easily grab them and hang onto them with a fair amount of force. The back legs are used for locomotion more often than grabbing. However, they are still capable of grappling onto humans should the front arms not be able to complete the task. Sporting only 2 prongs, they curl up to form a foot for a stable footing. These 2 are more than likely made out of the shoulders and arms of the unfortunate individuals who got caught up in this conglomeration. One of the interesting things about the arms is that they are actually not as symmetrical as you might imagine. It seems at some point it's possible this creature was damaged by unknown means, or perhaps maybe it has not completely formed. The right arm sports a fairly obvious weak point as the armor plating has been lost. Under, you can see the gory remains of people as well as inflamed yellow tissue. Attacking this will cause a micro explosion and subsequently great pain to this creature. The other arm gives you an idea of how the shoulder should look when properly supported. On the underside of the creature exists a structure in a T shape. This T-posing monster uses these smaller legs as purely support should the other extremities become damaged. Apart from that, they do not really grasp anything, instead just supporting the center mass of the Tormentor, as many bodies would put tremendous strain on the shoulder joints of the Necro, making it more ungainly than it already is. Moving to the front of the Tormentor, we see the elongated neck sports quite a few bony protrusions of its own, but getting to the face, we see something that is quite strange concerning a Necromorph, a focus on the anatomically correct placement of a head. Usually a head for a Necromorph is an afterthought and quite literally is ignored. Instead, the eyes seem to be almost functioning, allowing the creature to take in visual information on nearby human movements. However, where the mouth sits, everything has changed. The person that used to make up what is the head and face is quite mutilated, it seems. The 2 pincers, which appear to be leftover remnants of the arms, now help grab and hold on to prey. The ribs and the sternum have been modified and snapped into place to form 3 large teeth, with the rest of the ribs forming quite a few teeth that seem to line the mouth. These teeth easily pierce armor and allow the Tormentor to hang on to prey before ripping them in half. I would hazard a guess as to say that the body continues on with the legs fusing into another person to form the neck. Honestly though, it's hard to tell where one person ends and another begins, as this creature is fused quite well with very few remaining human features. The Tormentor is one that has multiple ways to take you out of the game, so let's run down them, or really let's let it run down you. First example of committing the not living is just it straight tramples you. Upon getting too close, it will instantly take Isaac out of the game in the hallway and trample him, But really what happens is you just seem to explode. And considering this thing is several tons, it's really not that surprising. That much energy hitting a human could easily blow them apart, much like how a bear swiping you can literally knock your head off. The next way is if you don't clear the debris field quick enough, the creature will clear your head of your shoulders. Aiming for that all-important weak point is apparently quite important. Upon missing too many shots to take it out, or just waiting for the good old Grim Reaper like I am doing, the creature will grab you and become quite curious as to what your head actually tastes like. It will bite it off entirely, which, considering the other ways to go, is at minimum at least quick and easy. The last way comes after a flurry of action between Isaac, the Necromorph, Unitologist, and EarthGov. Apparently there is some grudge match, unbeknownst to us, between the Tormentor that is chasing you down and the EarthGov ship that opened fires on the Tormentor, breaking the glass in the process. Both you and the Tormentor are spaced, and Isaac tries to flee the ship. But the Tormentor isn't done tormenting you yet. Surprise, surprise. It grabs Isaac. If you screw up like I did the first time and not shoot the exploding tanks that, because for some reason they weren't obvious back in 2011, it will be able to get a much stronger grip on you. When this happens, it will use its teeth to bite into the side of Isaac. It will then completely tear him in half. And look at that, we get some floaty space hand, which is a callback to the original Dead Space 1 cover. For Isaac, there really is no rest. Basically, you just have to run from this creature and you can't ever really take it out. Even upon the creature being spaced, there is a good possibility it's not actually dead. After the explosion of the shuttle simply separates you and this creature, I imagine this calcified skin would continue to protect it much like it did from the weapons being used against it. From there, it more than likely just continues to hunt the station in other areas. Essentially, you luck out you don't run into this thing again. You may have noticed a lot of reused footage. Well, you only encounter this thing once and for just a little bit, so this one was a bit skimpier in terms of actual usable footage. However, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed it anyhow. If you are new and enjoyed it, it's 2019. I plan on branching into a few other games. In the near future. I think I'm about to drop The Last of Us as my next video. Also, if you are a regular, leaving a like is always appreciated, and I will drop my Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links as well as Negative Atmospheres in the description if you would like to check out any of that. And speaking of patrons, I would like to thank mine. At the Scientist tier, we have Layla Alizarin, which shout out to them. They have been my patron for 6 months now. I really do appreciate it, man. Next up, we have Arulam Lupe holding it down. Our residents are A. Laurentis, Evan Osborne, Greater Genes 83, and Richard Muhlenberg. Holding their PhD in genetics, we have Adam Hartswick. Also, I heard about your addition into the game, man. That is sick. Congrats. Allison Caspero, Andrew Lawson, Divine Whisper, Laffy No Skill, and Steve N. Next up, our Masters in Biology are Brandon Brotherton, Cameron Smith, Edgy McGee, Scott Grant, and the Otterman. With their Bachelors in Morphological Sciences, we have Ahigao Comics, Anthony Charles West, Anthony Wolf, Captain Gasmask, Dustin Ellis, Eric Scott Gillies, Jims, Joseph Radical, Professor Bennett, and Zachary Baker. Thank you guys for your continued support. Alright, the holidays are over, so expect me to be able to actually start doing game nights and stuff as we all settle back into our regular routines. Also, expect new games on the horizon for sure, because that is going to be happening. So, thanks for watching Roanoke Gaming, guys, and I will see y'all in the next one. Also, I made a Daily Motion account. I don't even know what's happening.